Kyle Lowry, the NBA champ, has taken his talents to South Beach after the Miami Heat pulled off a sign and trade yesterday. Six-time All-Star joins Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. It's a pretty formidable big three. But Brandon, your favorite signing in NBA free agency yesterday was blank.
Yeah, a couple interesting moves yesterday, but let's not overcomplicate this. I'm going to go out to Phoenix, Arizona, and talk about CP3. CP3, a lot of people was wondering, like, why is he opting out? Well, I mean, Avid fans maybe not, too tied in on the salary cap and, how that all works. But, this dude, he leaned on his leverage, all right? Free agency is something that a lot of players back in the day fought hard for. And they got it, right? So now you see this guy opt out, and now he has a bigger commitment and a better deal from the Phoenix Suns organization. Before he got there, this team was just, okay. I mean, you go back to the bubble, and, they had a great experience in the bubble, but nobody thought that they would make it to the finals. Nobody thought that this team would be the hottest team since March of this year in the regular season. So CP3 is the biggest signing. You got 8 in there. He's going to continue to get better. And you also have Booker, who's going to continue to get better. Man, that dude, in that last series, those shots that he was making was nothing short of Kobe Bryant, right? Like that type of style. We're talking about making a tough shot over and over and over again. So I can't wait to see what they do next year and how they even gel even more.
So listen, I'm happy for Chris Paul. Tillman Fertitta reportedly called his previous contract the worst contract he'd ever seen in the history of sports or business. Turns out it was bad for Chris Paul, because he opted out of it and then got 4 years, $120 million. And I've said on this show time and again, Robert Sarver, notoriously cheap. Robert Sarver ponied up to keep this crew together. So good for them. I'm happy for them. I don't think they get back to the finals, but happy for CP3. But my favorite signing was one of the bargain signings. Maybe when underrated. This was a guy who in the playoffs was the second best player on what some people thought was a championship contender. Old Uncle Jeff Green. Jeff Green going from the Nets to the Nuggets. The Nuggets saying, hey, we got Nikola. We're going to have Jamal Murray back. Michael Porter Jr. take another leap. Aaron Gordon, not good in the playoffs, but potentially good in the regular season. And then you get Jeff Green. The Nets, meanwhile, lose arguably their second most reliable playoff performer. Only Durant's a guy in the postseason you really trust more than you trust Jeff Green. So that's tough for them. It's a great move for the Nuggets. They add a little veteran depth. 2 years, $10 million. I'm surprised the Nets couldn't pony up for him. But yeah, I like Jeff Green going to the Denver Nuggets, who obviously are going to be one of the favorites coming out of the West next year, Wilds.
Okay, did you do that whole thing to throw Kyrie, to throw shade at Kyrie and James Harden all of a sudden and Blake? What's going on here? You make a Jeff Green compliment and an insult sandwich for Kyrie.
Was Jeff Green not
He was good for a game.
He was amazing. Was he not great in the Game 5?
He was good.
He was pretty good in the Game 7 in 2018. Yeah, he was pretty good, pretty reliable. You know what's not reliable? Not being able to play. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So he's
laying on the guy's foot.
He's reliable, trustworthy.
Okay. All right. Anyways, this guy's fired up this morning. He got a new coffee cup, still fired up. Anyways, my favorite signings. This is what also hurts your feelings, because your buddy Caruso, gone out of LA, 4 years, $37 million to Chicago. Also Lonzo, 4 years, $85 million to Chicago. Sorry, I get so excited, my earpiece fell out. So anyways, I like the Bulls are back. I'm very interested in the Bulls. They got Zach LaVine's out in Tokyo getting the job done. So look, I like the new look Bulls. The other weird thing about this is what's going on with Zion. Like, I know they wanted him to play the point a little bit more, but it just seems this like an odd fit that the Pelicans are not nearly as aggressive as Zion wanted them to be in free agency. So we'll see.
Caruso, you'll be missed, buddy.
Let's just keep it rolling.
I know, he's a good player.
Hey, the Lakers brought back Dwight Howard. It's a bit of a shocker. The 35-year-old won a title in L.A. the last 2 seasons ago before spending last year in Philly. But Brandon, the most head-scratching signing in NBA free agency yesterday was blank.
Well, your boy Dwight's a part of it, Superman. All of the Lakers' moves. Look, I kind of get it, right? When you have LeBron James you're competing for a championship every single year, and he's going to force you to make moves every single year. If you're not trying, then you're not competing, he's not going to be happy. So I understand why they're being so aggressive. I like LeBron James, obviously, right? Like, it's LeBron James. Russell Westbrook. If you don't like Russell Westbrook and his approach, then there's something wrong with you. So I like Russell Westbrook.
So
I like on AD. But all three of them together, that's the beef, Nick. I just don't see how that's going to work. And then, you know, when you think about the moves they made yesterday, they have now 7 guys on guaranteed contracts. 6 of them are 34 years or older, right? You got how many guys that are 35 years or older on that team? This may be the oldest team in the NBA. That's a problem for you guys.
It is.
This is going to be interesting, buddy. And all of this, I'm going to say it again. Every time we talk about the Lakers until the season starts, I'm going to say this. All this to beat the Nets, they only played 8 games together, buddy. You know it, Jenna.
And 0 conference finals or NBA finals games together because they finished 7th in the NBA last year. They're not all that to beat the Nets, but all that to win a title. So listen, and by the way, I'm not going to let you just ignore Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington is going to be, if you're bringing up the Nets, the Lakers version of Joe Harris without turning into a pumpkin in the playoffs.
Oh,
Wayne Ellington, mark him down. Oh, he's good. I said without the playoff stuff. Well, Wildes. Put Wildes on the screen here if you could for me, please.
Oh, sure.
I tried to emotionally and mentally prepare you. And, you know, Wildes goes to bed with images of Kawhi Leonard and Zion Williamson dancing in his head. And then he wakes up, and it's actually Evan Fournier for $78 million. Oh, what's more dangerous? A child with a box of matches or the Knicks with cap space? Whenever you can give $78 million to this balding French fella who's going to fall on the ground while guarding Kyrie Irving, what am I going to do? What?
Gosh darn it. Don't show that highlight.
That's all I have. The producer said, do we have any Evan Fournier footage? And I said, I know we do. They're like, why would we have Evan Fournier footage? And I said, remember when Kyrie cooked him and you saw his bald spot? That's $78 million. The Knicks are back, baby. Get the parade ready. Down Madison Ave. Let's do it.
Stop.
Come on.
Stop.
34th Street, my friend.
Stop.
Oh, look at what's happening. My
See?
set's falling apart. My
I told you.
cups are breaking.
You. That's what you get.
Are you doing?
This is just set karma. Set karma for you. Yeah, that's what you get. You try to make fun of Evan Fournier because he's got a little male pattern baldness. Guess who else does? Your buddy Alex Caruso and LeBron. So it's not a big deal. And he's playing great in the Olympics. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to do a great job. Now, granted, he came to the Celtics and he bounced. Anyways, my answer is PJ Tucker. I thought the Bucks were going to do a little Tampa Bay Bucks idea where it's like, hey, let's bring the band back together. PJ Tucker's up there drinking champagne, spitting all over the place. I'm like, what happened? Because he only signed for 2 years, $15 million in Miami. And here's the reason. An offer that started at, say, $7 million would have cost the Bucks approximately $23 million in tax and thus would mean a $30 million bill. That, above all else, is why he's not coming back to the Bucks. So that actually makes sense. I was head scratching, then I found the answer. So PJ Tucker, best of luck in Miami.
And
I think
the
they're
Bucks
going to
get
be
DiVincenzo
a great team. He's a great addition. I know, but I would have liked to if he was back to the Bucks.
By the way, I mean, we talk about that Bucks Nets series.
What did he
The
say?
Nets lose Kyrie.